This is a horror game podcast. It is meant for mature audiences. It may contain shocking revelations, violence, and sexual themes. Viewer discretion is advised. Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Thom Raley. The scenario is Through the Lens of Evil. It was written by Victor Graur, who is also our keeper of arcane lore, and this is a one-shot. Before we begin, I do feel that I have the need to ask for your support. We don't monetize our show with YouTube, but we do have a Patreon where you can give us a small pledge, a couple of dollars a month, to help defray the costs of producing this show. And now that that's out of the way, let's begin our journey into the darkness. Victor?
Thank you very much, Thom. We begin our story in the year 2250. In the vast coldness of space, a lone space shuttle flies across the horizon. It enters the atmosphere of a glacial planet, executing very, very careful maneuvers in order to slow, accelerate, and take every precaution possible to make the travel as swift as artificially possible. Inside this spacecraft, we zoom in on an improvised table where 5 human personnel sit. They have been in cryo for quite some time. They are still recovering from the very, very big pressures that it puts on the human body. And we shall begin to meet this crew. I'm going to start with Dr. Fiona Quinn. Introduce yourself.
Good evening, everyone. Good to see you again. You'll remember I'm Dr. Quinn. We've been in cryo for quite some time. I'm a 31-year-old female xenobiologist. I'm from New Sector 22, and I got an expertise in novel biochemistries that differ from the traditional DNA, RNA 20 sequences. Specifically, I'm an expert in xenonucleic acid chains that one's likely to find in alien aquatic life. I'm further trained in first aid, outdoor survival, and classical Latin. I look forward to working with you all on this Genesis exploration program.
Wonderful. Who goes next?
I guess I'll go. I'm Professor Peter Zanning. I am a linguist. I am currently a professor at Glasgow University on Graur World in Sector 121, the colony there. I should have said, Salima Hamim. I wish you good health. I have advanced degrees in ancient languages, including Arabic, Aramaic, Sumerian, Akkadian, and I've got a working knowledge of Greek and Latin languages. I'm not exactly sure why I was assigned to this. As far as I know, so far, nobody's found any civilization out here in the stars. But I suspect if that's why I'm here, unless we've got a bunch of Arabs on the, on the planet that we need to work with. I hope it can be of help.
Very well. Who introduces themselves next?
I'll go next. I'm playing Lieutenant Trevor Davidson, who is a 26-year-old former Marine. He's the crew security chief. And so while he's not a scientist, he has alternate responsibilities on the crew. He is a pretty gregarious guy, generally. He's not like a grizzled battle veteran or anything. He's relatively young. He wants to do a really good job for the corporation because he wants to get a plum assignment as a station security chief somewhere. So he's just trying to make sure everything goes smoothly. And for the most part, he expects to be pretty bored on this mission. Yeah.
Yankovic.
Yes, I'm Yankovic Nostrov. I'm from Sector 2364, and I am your computer specialist. So, you have a tech issue, I'm the one you call. Don't worry about the company. I got you. Now, as for being bored, yes, I'm going to be very bored. And I'm probably going to stay here on the ship to run all the things and make sure the AI is running all the things. Otherwise, I got nowhere else to be.
And lastly, our corporate agent, Monsieur Yves Morceau.
Hello, my name is Yves Marceau. I'm a gentleman in his early, late 60s, but extremely well preserved. You wouldn't put me past 45. As I've come out of the cryo, I have a special moisturizer that I'm applying even this moment. I'm wearing an expensive suit with French cuffs and a wide collar. I'm here because the company is a capital investment in this colony, and it's my job to make sure that they have a return on their investment. As far as I can tell, that's my only goal in life, is to take the number the company gives me and give it back to them even bigger than they gave it to me.
Wonderful. Almost in a confirmation, the synthesized ship assistant voice crackles to life. Greetings. I must insist that the NDA is still in effect. I hope that you managed to get yourself a cup of synthesized tea and a couple of meal-ready packets. We are approaching your destination in approximately 5 minutes. As a reminder, you are currently on the planet nicknamed Medacorpus. Here, Station Alpha 01, under Artek's tutelage, has claimed some bizarre and extraordinary discoveries regarding a possible sentient alien race. The station has gone silent a couple of months ago. Your duty as Artek's employee is to reestablish contact with Alpha 01 station, try to understand why the blackout in communication happened, and, of course, try to recover as many logs or discoveries that you may find. Thank you very much, and have a nice day. And
Holy crap. Holy crap, I would have thought that they'd have been able to repair it's probably an antenna problem, right?
Well, they don't have me, so obviously they don't have the best.
Yeah,
or else
you'd
they
think
wouldn't
that they
be
would
sending
have
us.
some basic. I mean, it could have been, I guess,
I would hope.
a catastrophic failure of their communications array. That's odd.
We can reach out to them from the spaceship, and then if we have to dock and go in, I let you guys take care of that. And then I'll go in.
It seems like this is the first time they've decided to tell me that there might be an alien civilization involved. That's cool.
I wouldn't worry about it. Some
Fascinating.
scientists every few years claims they encounter aliens and they send the military out there to take a look, and it's usually just some clump of bacteria.
Well,
Or
that's
bounty
true.
hunters. Remember Mars? The face?
Yeah, the face. The face. I
Mm.
thought that was debunked way back in the, what, 20th, 21st
Exactly. And they keep
century?
finding stuff like that, and they're like, "Oh, look, it's alien civilization."
Well,
Until
I
we have,
Well,
suppose.
I'm probably a bit more optimistic about this planet, but I'm a little bit pessimistic about sending us out here with communication failure, and we've got who? Trevor, one security guard with an intelligent alien species. I don't I don't know.
Well,
okay, we don't know anything about aliens. Let's just assume for now that it's just a micrometeoroid hit a antenna or something. Okay,
yeah,
we don't
but
have any information besides that. So let's just use Occam's razor, and we'll make it the simplest explanation is the correct explanation, right?
Well, Yankovic had the right idea. Why don't you try to raise the station on
Yeah.
the
yeah,
We
because
did
maybe
this now.
their short
Short
range
comm.
communication might still be working. You know,
I hope.
Doc, what if there is a civilization, then isn't there a fairly high percentage chance that there could be diseases that could affect us? And you're a
Absolutely.
biologist.
Absolutely.
A germ could have wiped them all out. I mean, how many times has that happened before in the history of the human race?
We should certainly instigate quarantine procedure alpha if when we step off out of the
Yeah.
ship.
I'm sure we have
But let's
encounter suits for everybody.
let's see what we can raise on the radio.
Uh, GM, does this the AI here on the ship, does it operate like in Star Trek? I just say computer or
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah, you can talk with it however
just
you want.
talk to it and be like, "Hey, start running a planetary scan of the base, etc." All right. Yeah, I'll just start moving towards the front of the ship where all the computers are, and I'll just blurt that out.
Yeah, yeah. Right away.
Thank
My
you.
previous scans indicate a temperature of approximately minus 30 degrees Celsius. I will have to remind you that you are in possession of a specifically designed suit, each tailored to your needs in order to safely explore the environment. Also, Alpha 01 station has an integrated space shuttle garage, which I am going to attempt to land inside of once we are reaching, which should be in approximately 1 minute.
It's going to be
As
like
it-
Minnesota down there. Minnesota in winter.
What is Minnesota?
It's a place back on old Earth.
Oh,
Xterra, to be more precise, completely.
I think it was settled by the Vikings,
so like Neptune?
like Neptune, but without the high winds. Yeah, like
And as you are
the
closing
Titan
in,
colony.
you can see that you're approaching a mountainous formation which you have received on your personal PDAs. This is code word for Discord. You have received the following sight of two very tall mountains. And the AI pops up again and says, conjointed peaks, site of Alpha 01 scientific laboratory station. Fast forwarding, the AI attempts to contact the station. It receives a communication that is very, very weak in signal, and it will warn you that this may be the cause of a general power failure on the station. However, the emergency reserves allow the space garage, the space shuttle garage to open up. The ship lands. There are no difficulties. Everything is automated. And the AI cracks up one again. We have arrived at Alpha 01 station.
Oh, computer, quick question. How many people are stationed here already? What's the complement of people?
According to my logs, there are currently 102 employees employed on Alpha 01 station.
Right.
Then
I'm
they
going
would-
to. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, it's just going to say that then they should have some sort of engineer for their power controls. Yes? That seems odd that they would send us here 102 people just not responding.
And if they lost power by now, they're probably all huddled together naked under a blanket to keep warm.
At minus 30 degrees centigrade, I think they're all probably ice bricks by now.
Well, I mean, that's pretty harsh winter conditions, but it's not unheard of.
Frostbite.
Yeah.
Computer,
Definitely the stress.
can you tap into the closed circuit cameras on station Alpha 01?
Is there power working for that?
Station Alpha 01, according to my calculations, is under the strict maintenance procedures and automations of some of my model colleague called Adam. Trying to contact Adam in this closed circuitry has returned a 404 not found error.
Oh. So they have one of the old Atom computers. That's interesting. I'm going to say in French to Monsieur Marceau.
Oui.
Monsieur Marceau, is there anything that corporate has told you that you're not telling us?
That corporate has told me that I haven't told you. No, I know everything you know. I haven't told you anything, or there's nothing that I've been told that I haven't told you. I have, and I'll hold up and dangle, an access chit to the facility that will let us through, I believe, any door. But I don't have any information beyond what you've already been given or told, unfortunately, though.
Okay.
I'm already cold. We haven't even gotten off the ship, and it feels empty somehow.
Yeah. Hopefully we don't find room after room of frozen bodies.
Talk about a waste of resources.
It'll be fine. They'll just clean it out and restart.
They're going to make us clean it out and restart.
I hope not.
They're not going to make me clean it out.
Well, unless it's a disease, there should be plenty of food.
Are you able to access Adam remotely? Is that something you could
Yes,
give a shot?
but unfortunately the 404 error indicates either that Adam's address has changed or Adam is unfunctioning.
That seems very odd that Adam isn't working. Could I give a computer check once we get into the building or from here remotely to see if I can't knock on the door, so to speak?
So any scientific station is quite, it's not because it's a scientific station. It's a closed circuit because security is involved.
All right.
So regardless of how good you are as a computer specialist, you will not be able to obtain any information because it's like you would try to enter in a building without having the wires or even signals.
Okay.
Yeah. Ever since the virus wars and the Rishi Maze problem, there's no, yeah.
I assume I have like a
Nobody-
data pad or something I can hook up to once we get in and hook up to a computer and
Each one of you is in possession of what is on the sheet, which is not that much, as well as the AI is going to probably have stocked on your space shuttle whatever you may need, which is in reasonable credit rating.
For our jobs, yeah.
Yeah. So you don't have to worry about tools, data pads, appropriate clothing for this dreadful weather. Everything is there.
Let's all suit up.
yeah.
We've
Can
been
we
sitting.
can we have a meeting before we go before we leave the ship?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I think we should.
what's up?
Yeah, so as the security chief, I think since we're going into an unknown situation, we have no idea what we're going to encounter. I'd like you all to stay behind me until we've determined that it's safe. Mr. Marceau, you come with me, please, and bring your data chip so we can get that door open.
I would suggest the doctor go with you too to scan for viruses.
Oh, we're all going to go in, but Mr. Marceau, please stay close to me, is what I mean.
Yes, Lieutenant. And we've been sitting here however many minutes in the bay, and there's been no reaction, no response,
Nobody's
nothing has
come out to
appeared.
Very good
knock on the door.
observation. Nobody has come to talk
Say
to
hello.
you. No attempt of communications. In, let's say, 20 minutes you've been speaking, you just got in the shuttle bay. No movement, no activity of any kind.
Not even people tapping on the window, so it's not a good sign.
All right.
How well are you armed, Lieutenant?
Yeah, I have a pulse beam rifle, so that should do it.
Boy, I
I
hope
mean, I
that
doubt.
covers all of us. I mean,
I
I have
doubt
a
seriously
pistol.
that there's any hostility. There's
Yeah,
just,
if we encounter a situation where there's hostility, I need you guys to hightail it back to the ship, and I will handle any fighting that needs to be handled.
and we'll send back reinforcements as soon as we get home.
Exactly.
Fingers crossed. So you exit your shuttle. You take all the gear you need. There is a certain stillness in the bays. You can tell just by moving in any location, agnostic of time, humans are good at discovering and understanding when there has been no activity in some places. And this reeks of almost no activity since entire months.
Is the temperature off?
Oh, yes.
So it's
Temperature
very cold.
control. Yeah, it's very cold.
And the air circulation is not, the air conditioner is not running. So it's just deathly still. Well, Doc, is the air safe? It's cold, but is it safe?
Well, let me use this this thanoscopic analyzer here and check.
It's safe.
Take an air sample. It's breathable. So if folks are staying warm, they could
Survive.
be alive.
I want to see if I can smell decay.
Not that you can tell. Although
Seems
if I'm
pretty-
going to be honest, it's tough with such cold temperatures. It's almost like a fridge.
That's true. It's hard.
might
I would
suggest
like it known that I've kept my helmet on and that I'm sealed from the outside environment and have been since before we got off the ship.
I was just going to say, once we get the powder back on, let's leave the heat off. Anything dead, let's leave it cold. You don't want to smell that. I've already experienced that once in my life. I don't need it again.
Well, it might not have even. The temperature would have gone down slowly. So yeah, you're right. things could have started rotting. Although, in the future, on a colony world, is there bacteria? Do we bring bacteria with us, or do we somehow purge ourselves of all of that stuff before we come here?
I would say for the purpose of this story, you can be sure that everybody was quite sterile microflora-wise.
Okay. So not much decay, if anything, but we'll see.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So you make your way into the station. You are being welcomed by darkness, stillness, and pretty much no activity. You walk through corridors and you are entering what you are pretty sure is the main hub of this station, which is room similarly in profile to a hexagon. So you have 6 walls and it's quite spacious. In the middle, cutting through this darkness, is a small terminal that, with its last remaining probably very, very low voltage consumption, displays a message. For assistance, insert greeting, Adam.
What is this? Why is everything broken? He's gonna like start trying to get it to work.
Yeah, you can definitely start exploring the room. So I'm taking that Yankovic is going to try to interact with the terminals. Nothing weird is going to happen for now, but I will require some repairs, preferably electronic or computers. What's the rest of you doing while you see Yankovic rushing to touch anything in the room?
I am going to assume that I have some sort of, I'm keeping my suit sealed, but I want to project out my voice through the comms and say, hey, Adam. Hello, Adam. Bonjour, Adam. T'es là?
Very good. As you're doing that, the terminal changes and it pretty much bombards Yankovic with a ton of errors. There are a lot of bugs and computer errors, and some of them indicate catastrophic software and hardware failure of the entire system.
Wow, how is that even possible?
Lieutenant Davidson is going to survey the exits to the room while these guys are working on the computer.
Did somebody try to rewrite your computer program?
That's what it looks like? Or they've messed with the hardware and the software? I won't know until we get to the I assume there's a mainframe here at the space station, yes?
Yeah.
Let's I think that might be our first place to go. Well, outside of engineering room to get the power back on. We can't do anything without power anyways.
Maybe could we do a broadcast over the intercom? Is the intercom working? Tell people that we're here?
Yeah,
a
broadcast system might be on a low voltage structure. So yeah, I say that it's completely possible.
Okay.
So I'll go over to that, and I will, in multiple languages, broadcast. We've arrived from corporate. Where is everybody? We're in the control room. Please give us your status, and then we'll see if anybody answers.
Paint crackles. There may be something. In fact, you can all give me a listen check.
Okay.
All of us, you said?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, give you a
listen check.
A listen check.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a hard.
That's an
Awesome.
extreme.
Extreme and the hard. Okay.
A failure here.
Failed here.
Okay.
Dream success.
Awesome. Oh, so these are all the successes. Whoever scored a heart, you can definitely hear a faint, it's not a voice, it's almost a noise that may kind of resemble something like somebody trying to communicate with you. But the critical Yankovic, you hear very faintly from the other side a voice. You can't tell exactly what it says behind the static, but it's very similar to somebody that you know. But here is the problem. You are more than sure that they are definitely back at home, have nothing to do with this mission. I will require you to give me a sanity check for this.
Let's see. There it is. No, that's a failure.
Okay, just one. It's a little bit unnerving. It's up to you to decide. It's probably a friend or somebody you just kind of heard something that reminded you of them.
Yeah.
But it's quite impossible being here.
Victor? Victor? No, it can't be Victor. Victor's back at Neptune.
What are you saying, Yankovic?
Nothing. I thought I recognized the voice. It's probably the silence in here. It can drive you mad.
Well, that's true. There's a word for that. I can't think of it. Finding patterns in randomness.
Think matrixing? Something like that. Probably more scientific term.
Well, you said the room is hexagon shaped. Are there 6 corridors leading away from it, is what you're saying?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, there are.
So we came up one corridor from the bay. I don't think anybody's here, or at least nobody alive is. I don't think the danger is very high.
Yeah, so as I was surveying the exits, did I see anything down any of those corridors that was interesting?
I'm going to say that you probably had time a little bit to explore some of the corridors. So the corridors have plaques on them that indicate where they are leading towards. So you expect that this station has an observatory, crew quarters, a scientific wing, a maintenance wing, and a security office.
Well, I'm interested. I'll head towards the crew quarters. I want to see if people are
Okay.
alive. But I'm not walking away from everybody. I'm waiting here to make that decision.
Let's not go anywhere alone.
I mean,
we have
too dangerous.
We have individual communication, right? We
Yeah.
can communicate with each other even if we're
Yeah.
separated.
That's more than reasonable. Yeah.
I should have asked this in the shuttle bay, but ours was the only shuttle in there,
Yes.
and there's no other. I'm trying to think
Yep.
if somebody had left, how could we tell? And if there's no other shuttles left,
Yeah.
is there? I'm looking at the reception here. Yeah, so maybe they all just got up and flew away for some reason. Maybe a competitor outbid them on their contract, or
I mean,
I don't know if
there's
that makes
not
any sense.
the shuttle bay is probably not large enough to hold more than a supply shuttle that comes in and out. Am I right? and you couldn't
Yeah.
fit 102 people into a shuttle.
What
Okay.
type?
You could do it, but it wouldn't lift off the ground.
I mean, technically you could do it and stack them like corkwood.
Yeah, but the weight would be.
Yeah.
What type of observatory? Is it just like a windowed room where you can look out, or is it like a telescopic observatory of some sort, or a radar observatory, or something else?
So we will say that you explore and you are not splitting the party. You are moving slower and you're exploring
Okay.
these sites if you
Okay.
want.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm just curious from looking at the map. Like, is there any indication?
I understand. The map, you feel that you would have much more benefits if Adam was around. Then you would have to go there physically to see this location.
Okay,
So far, it's called observatory.
that's fair.
Well, I would be fine with going to the crew quarters as Professor Zanning suggested. However, this is a research facility. If something went wrong, it
I
could have went
My
wrong
job
at
is in the maintenance bay. I
at the
have to go to
scientific.
maintenance.
Yeah, I think could we potentially get the heat and the power back on?
Potentially.
And
Do we know if there's restrictions to operating the stuff here? Yves?
If Are there any restrictions? I believe that I can lift any of them if any come up with this chit.
We may
But I
not
don't.
go to the security room in case they put in protocols that might prohibit us from turning the power back on. Perhaps there's
Yes.
information?
Yes. And I assume the chit is indexed to me in particular, so I have to be the one who uses it, and I can't just give it to people.
Yeah.
I would personally feel safer if we figured out what happened here before we go flipping the light switches on. I'm not sure what power might do. We haven't looked in the scientific wing. There could be problems with turning the power back on and consequences that we don't want to deal with. We're safe in our suits.
So
Which is why I suggest the security room.
perhaps in order, I don't know, Lieutenant, you probably tell us strategically what's best. We should probably locate the crew if they're in their crew quarters, frozen or not, and then check the other rooms out, and then turn the power on, and then clean up whatever we need to clean up and get the station going again once we know it's safe.
I agree. Let's try the crew quarters first. See if we can find anyone.
Okay. You go into the crew quarters, and
Yeah.
the crew quarters is this large space filled with beds in a very, very militaristic garrison fashion. There are definitely signs that people around here either haven't slept in a while or they probably left in a hurry. There are unmade beds. There's quite a mess all over the place. Some of the lockers are pretty much either not fully closed, or you might even see, without paying that much attention because it kind of stands in your eye, there are some that have been forced open.
I will keep an eye out for if there's a journal or anything that's just setting out. I figure we're just doing cursory look right now, but eventually I'll want to see if there's anything in here. But if there's a journal sitting there or that somebody dropped, or
Is there any evidence of a firefight or any sort of fight, I guess?
Both of these questions give me a spot hidden for your desired results.
40.
crap.
Yeah, that makes it. That's a regular success.
No, I got an 84 out of 55, so
Okay.
I don't see anything.
Yeah, it's a terrible mess around here. However, Lieutenant Davidson, you definitely You can tell, probably finding some close to a wall, because the floor is a mess and you don't really see much on the ceiling. There is a round hole in one of the walls, which could definitely be made only by a firefight with kinetic conventional weaponry.
The old-fashioned things.
Okay. Yeah.
Projectile.
All right. I will show that to whoever is nearby, Professor Zanning, most likely.
Yeah, looks like a bullet hole to me.
Yeah, to me too.
Just one though, huh? That could just be a rowdy crew member popping a gun off.
Oh yeah? That happens a lot in the stations where you are?
It's
I
been
mean-
known to happen.
Actually, there's a good question for the GM. What's the planet like? Is it poisonous atmosphere, or is it breathable, or I mean it's cold, obviously.
Yeah, your ship AI would have informed you. Metacorpus has quite a high score on the Genesis colonization program, which means that it's very, very close to being able to host human life. It has 0.95 G, so it's 95% of the Xterra gravity.
Very nice.
Other than the very, very low temperatures, there's a lot of fauna, a lot of Arctic-like equivalents to Xterra, so some meat, some very, very short shrubbery plants that would survive in that environment. Everything is the air is breathable. It has quite the nitrogen, hydrogen, and oxygen percentages. Yeah.
Which now makes sense why they would have projectile weapons, because they weren't so afraid of punching a hole in the building.
Yeah.
And getting poisoned. I mean, the planet's right for terraforming. They could terraform it and bring the temperature up, and yeah.
I'd like to know, as a matter of corporate policy, is it normal that people would have projectile weapons in this context? Is it something that the security guards would have been issued, or is it unusual to see, I guess, in the world more broadly? How much does it speak to us in that sense?
102 people.
Yeah. Is it like the 38 special? It's a common thing, or
Just station gankers.
And as long as we're all standing around here, can someone try to dig the bullet out of the wall? I mean, maybe it wasn't a bullet at all. Maybe it was something that happened to be, I mean, who knows? Someone stabbed a pencil.
Is it a hole going all the way through to the outside?
I would say, yeah, but the outside is pretty much back in the corridor.
Yeah. I think it went all the way through. I don't think there's a bullet in there. I'm going to look through the hole.
There is a corridor looking back at you.
Yeah.
And there's no bodies in here, right?
No
No.
bodies yet. That's baffling.
could I have
Yeah.
a look around for like some tech gear? Anything that might be like sitting around or mounted onto a wall?
Yeah, you can definitely you can find a first aid kit that is in quite good condition, still warranty, but never used. You can definitely find bits of things from the crew. You can find photos of people that they brought with very, very small knickknacks. But I'm going to give you, you can, in fact, all of you can give me, searching this room, spot hidden online.
Oh, that time I did well. Got a hard.
I got
Awesome.
exactly 45, which is my spot hidden.
35 under
Regular.
50. Regular
Regular
success.
success.
Regular
Awesome.
success.
Yeah, there is definitely a journal that you find, which is of one of the crews. It's quite archaic because it's a conventional journal that has writing with a pen in it.
Not
You
paper and pen anymore.
some
Data pad.
people are into some vintage occupation.
Yeah, I got mine written though.
Yeah, looking around this place, you also find what is this small, like a USB stick, and you're almost certain that it holds obviously information, but Eve will definitely know that this is a way to unlock logs on the system should Adam be functioning. Basically, it's like you having a hardware without which decryption is completely impossible. It would take you billion of years to decrypt something like that. Yeah.
I'll grab the journal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can definitely skim through it as you're walking.
We definitely pick up that useful piece of tech. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think we should try maintenance next.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Dr. Quinn is right. Unless our goal, I don't think we should turn on the power until we know what's going to happen when we turn it on. So I don't know if that was the intention with maintenance, but I think that's a smart idea that we should defer that. My goal is to recover what's of value, which I assume will be hidden in the scientific laboratories, but I assume we'll get to everything in its time.
We could go to security first, see if there's protocols in place. And then if we need to turn on power to access things, then we go to maintenance. I think that might be a good idea.
All right, then. Agreed. Let's all go to security.
All right.
Is it fair to assume that Davidson is the first in line?
Yeah. Yeah. For better
we're all
or for
following,
worse.
always following the guy with the gun.
He's got that, like quiet, easy confidence of a military officer. You know what I mean? Like, even when he's not confident, he projects confidence. So
we've been genetically engineered to obey. So
you aren't supposed to know about that.
Shh. What are you talking about?
Somebody is not going to reach their pension. Oh no. Okay. Yeah, you are going to the maintenance. The maintenance is pretty much filled with what you expect. Is filled with generators, backup generators. You also find that there are some cables that go through the mountainous wall, meaning that there are some solar panels outside capturing the energy of the star of the system. You can safely assume that this level of energy is just enough so that the terminal can work and some very, very low power devices can still continue their operations. But other than that, everything in here is pretty much non-functional. I can tell you that if you give, if you know something about mechanical engineering or something, it may definitely help in identifying some problems around here.
Mechanical repair?
Yeah, that's very, very good.
We try.
Yeah, no, I deal with computers.
49 over 40, and I'm trying to decide whether I want to spend luck.
Yeah, that's up to you.
No, I'm going to stick with my luck.
That's fair. That's a lot of luck, to be fair.
Yeah. Is there like a computer diagnostic I could do on some of this stuff to see if there's anything I could do on my side?
Yes, I would say yeah, with some PDA and only on the very low voltage stuff. Sure, give me your computer roll. That's what.
Computers. That is a regular success.
Regular success. The way the faults are in the system and the way that some of the generators that should have been very, very reliable failed indicates a possible electric shock that might have went through them.
Like an EMP.
With this degree of success, that's what you can tell. It's over the limit, the tension limit, pretty much.
It looks like everything's fried. It's high voltage.
Power surge.
Right, power surge. Yes, or EMP. But it's no evidence of that. So probably the data, power surge. But otherwise, everything should be working. Should.
You need to reboot.
No
That's right.
rebooting. There's no processors. You need to go in and replace everything. The wires, the little chips.
It's fried.
It's
Maybe
fried.
they have a
Do you
supply.
suspect sabotage?
I can't tell.
Everything is speculation at this point.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's all
it
speculation.
could be weather. How long has the station been here before we arrived?
I would say you know that the station has been active for 10, 11 years, something like
Yeah,
that.
so they should have a handle on any kind of weather thing going on.
We're in the security office at present, right?
No, you are in maintenance from what I understood.
It's right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, to streamline the exploration, indeed, without power, there's not much to see in maintenance, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I heard Professor Zanning saying something about provisions and spare parts. There are quite a lot of spare parts in maintenance here. So you can definitely, without any kind of spotting hidden, because they are very neatly sorted and placed, there are components to completely exchange the destroyed parts of these generators and so on.
So this
As a matter
room
of
hasn't been
fact-
ransacked at all.
No, it hasn't been ransacked at all.
The mystery, what
Interesting.
happened to him? I mean, I'm no expert on how any of this stuff works, but Yanni, is it possible to patch the shuttle into the station and use the power supply on the shuttle to at least, get the basics going again while you're doing repairs?
Maybe the jump start.
I like
battery's
this
going.
Yeah. That would be possible. Of course, only a jump start, because compared to your shuttle, which is a very, very small crew one, this is a ginormous station. Yeah, you can definitely jump start you could try that. That's a possibility. Yeah.
But what if plugging our shuttle into the thing means that the same thing happens to our shuttle that happened here?
Well, I don't think it's a virus. It's just, you said it looks like an electrical discharge of some sort.
Yeah.
So like a lightning hitting the building.
Which, I don't suspect that here on this cold planet.
Well,
So,
and if it happens, it might not be a common thing since this thing's been here for 10 years and it didn't happen before. It still doesn't explain where everybody went.
Yeah.
out into the cold.
I mean, maybe they're in the scientific wing. I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah.
I'd be all huddled up in the crew quarters, snuggled under the blankets or whatever.
I assume nothing has changed with regard to our plan to not start things up yet.
Well, no,
Yeah, not
we
until we
can't
know what we're
do
doing.
anything.
Yeah.
Think we'll find any survivors, given that all these supplies here are enough to fix the
Yeah.
surge problem.
Yeah.
You know, there's another possibility. I'm thinking back to Earth history. I mean, we all know probably from ancient history classes in school that people used to live in caves. So they could have just moved out of here into a cave and lit a fire. They're all keeping warm somewhere. I don't
I
know.
thought of caves having extra heat, like from the
Caves,
planet core.
if there's heat from the planet, then yeah, like 54 degrees Fahrenheit is where they tend to stay.
And I mean, there is plants out there.
Do we have
It's better than 40 below zero.
do we have LiDAR or something where we could look for an underground structure if one existed?
Maybe on the ship.
Maybe
If
on
they
the
fitted
ship.
it.
I think you might need a bigger ship to do that kind of survey. Ours isn't a survey ship.
Yeah,
No.
it's a shuttle, right? Yeah.
But surely somewhere, if such a facility or such a cave exists, surely there's record of it somewhere in this station. They would have
Well, I haven't
discovered
read
it.
the journal yet. The journal might say, "Oh, we all went to the cave over there." And I'll be like,
Yeah. And there's several wings we haven't explored yet, so we'll just have to keep an open mind for now.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm
I guess-
eager to get over to the science.
I'll hang in the back of the group as they're exploring, and I'll thumb through the journal.
Yeah, that's fine. Where are you trying to go right now?
I think security is next. Yeah,
It's right next to the maintenance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
might as well
So-
check it.
You are going towards security, and a couple of things will happen. One of them is as you're approaching this post, you see in the security rooms, there are a lot of screens spread around, and there is a chair in front of these screens. And for the first time, I would say it's better than never, but in this case, it's not that much. There is somebody staying in this chair.
Oh,
I'm not going to say that they are. They don't seem to pay any attention to you, and they keep tapping at a keyboard, even though nothing is happening on the screens, and they pay you no mind.
hello?
No response.
All right, he's gonna go up and like touch his shoulder. Friend, comrade.
Slowly turning away, stopping from what they were doing, is this figure that looks at you and has this weird milky texture in their eyes. I'm going to say that Lieutenant Davidson probably saw death, and whoever saw death, usually this is like an animate dead body, pretty much. It cannot see anymore, and it's looking at all of you with this blank stare.
Is he wearing a suit?
It's wearing what a security officer would wear. And it says, "Oh God, what have we done?" As it says this, all the lights in this room turn on suddenly. There is a surge of energy, and you are distracted looking around, trying to figure what happened. When you look back at the chair, there is the slumped body that you saw, but this time it's very much dead. And you can all give me a sanity roll.
I passed,
Uh,
but that's pretty
54
freaky.
over 40 fail.
31 pass.
Oh, I did not. I
There,
very
Yes,
badly.
that's going to be a 1 on a pass and a 1d4 on a failure.
Oh, let me grab.
One.
Perfect.
Did did you all see that? I lose my accent
Yes,
for a
we all
moment.
saw it.
He turned around. Yes, he spoke. I'm just making sure
Yeah.
I'm not crazy.
I'll do a
No,
bio
surely it was a.
scan on this body that I just saw animate.
The body is very much dead,
I
and
mean,
it has 3 bullet wounds that would definitely be more than enough to put a quick end.
Nope, nope, nope. They're not paying us enough. They're not paying us enough. I want a raise. I need my credit score to go up 30% minimum to finish this.
no. Pardon my ancient French, but bordel de putain de merde.
Dr. Quinn,
Yeah.
what's the possibility that we could be exposed to something like a hallucinogen or a radiation sickness?
The filters in our suit should filter out. It would have to be like microns, but
Computer said the air is okay.
as the powers come on, have the screens in the security room
Yeah,
lit
they
up
start
with
to
images.
Mhm. They start to try to calibrate, but all of them list no signal.
There's
I am in character. I
Also,
lost the
I'm
maximum sanity. So I think I think, I don't know. I think it was a trick of the light. There was a surge. I thought I heard something. But just to clarify, the power surged and then it went down and the screens are still on? Or has the state gone back to what it was?
the power seems to have come back on for a reason that is quite unknown to you. There seems to be power back on, and as a matter of fact, you can hear through comms a lot of static crackling, and there is also a terminal that lists the fact that Adam is trying to configure itself from a failed state, but it cannot do so without any assistance.
My theory about what we just saw, just to soothe some nerves here, is as the electrical surge occurred, it somehow, I mean, this would be, very unlikely, but in the realm of possibility, that electrical surge interacted with the biochemistry of this now deceased man and made it appear to us as if there was motion. That's the best I can do.
But he was typing when we came in the room.
Was he?
Surely a trick of the light. Surely a trick of the light. It couldn't possibly have been. Right, Dr. Quinn? He's dead. He's dead. I mean, he's been dead.
It looks like
And
he's been
I'm
dead
more
for
worried.
weeks.
I'm more worried about these bullet holes in his head. If there is someone's still on the station that's armed.
the powder shouldn't even be on. Everything's fried, dead, have to be replaced. It shouldn't even be on right now. I almost want to leave. I want to leave and say we did our job.
Well, let's get the scientific logs and do just that.
Just one sec. Well, Lieutenant Davidson is going to look for a weapons locker.
Okay. Yeah, you find a locker. However, unfortunately, it has been ransacked and there is no weapon inside.
Is there a weapon here on the security guard?
Give me a luck roll.
That's no.
Unfortunately, they have a holster, but it's empty.
Yeah, it's been ransacked.
So somebody's taken weapons and
Yeah.
shot people and
there's bullet holes in the walls. Yeah, it's not a good
some
scene.
sort of mutiny.
Adam seems to be stuck in the restart mode. I might, with this powder being on now, might be able to help it.
Can't he fix himself in part once you get him going?
Once I help him, yes, he'll refix himself and be able to tell us what's been going on up until he crashed, which I assume was from the powder surge.
Thank you for your service to the company, Yankovic. If we survive, I promise everybody will get a major raise and commendation.
If we survive,
30%.
what the hell is that supposed to mean?
I don't know, but I'm
Minimum.
beginning to get a little suspicious here, and I just it's going to my head, the flashing of the lights and
Mr.
a
Marceau,
cappuccino.
could I have a word with you, please, in private?
Yes, of course, Lieutenant Davidson.
These people are scared right now, Mr. Marceau. We need to help them build confidence, not tear it down. Could you work with me on this a little?
I'm trying. I need to center myself. I need to find the happy place. Yes, think of the stock options.
Good.
The rising ticker tape.
Good. All right.
Yes.
Kenny, is there anything I can do to help? I mean, I'm a linguist. I'm not sure what I can do, but
Let's see what the computer's stuck in. And he's gonna go up to the computer and start trying to help the AI
Yeah, I'm going to say
itself.
that you definitely help. You write some coroutines, you push it further, and it's going to start to reboot. It's going to try to fetch a lot of stuff from itself. And after it reboots, it gives errors that it's missing its personality core, so it starts to restore that. It's restoring its avatar interface. And after everything is completed, it has a final language selection. And of course, the default is English. And it can speak any kind of language that is commonly known. However, you can all give me, as you're looking at Yankovic trying to configure this, if it's a good skill of yours, library use. Because Yankovic pretty much wants to find English. English somehow got moved downwards. And I'm curious if you succeed.
I probably spotted it with a hard.
I missed it with, I mean, I got a hard, but I'm just 4 points from an extreme, so I can spend that in my luck to get an extreme.
It won't be necessary. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Awesome. So, Professor Zenning and Dr. Quinn, you definitely see one option that is colored in red once it's over it, but once it moves faster than it decolors again. You probably prompt Yankovic to move back up. And apparently Adam is capable having a custom voice, which is named Neda dialect, classification Ergolang Faust.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
Kind of
does it-
looks familiar to me.
Does it give like a pre-recording of what that sounds like?
Oh yeah, you can do that.
Yeah. So I click that. What is this? Click.
It's a language that has very sharp sounds. It's almost quite jarring to hear because um, it's like it's saying stuff that you have no idea what it is, but it conveys somewhat of a meaning. As you're hearing this, Professor Zenin can give me something of their expertise. You can either give me Arabic or any kind of the languages that you possess.
How about Sumerian?
Sumerian is a very, very good choice.
Yeah, I got 58 out of 60, so just barely passed. It has the cadence of Akkadian or Sumerian or...
Yeah, it's very close. It has a lot of resemblances to them.
Do I recognize any of the words? Is it saying something?
If you would put some of the words to conventional translation, it would resemble something like, "Hi, this is Adam. I'm here to assist you on Alpha 01 station."
Yeah. It's a greeting, but it's not Sumerian though. It's close to it, almost like from a dialect that I have no idea.
May I kind of appeal to my Neda knowledge and see if I
Yes, you can.
get...
You can. In fact, we have some characters that may have another knowledge. You can roll against that skill if you want.
Okay. Oh shit, I got a 4, which is a hard success in Neda.
Okay. Scoring a heart in this, you will definitely know that this is something that you have met before. It's a language that has been intersected by the company a long time ago during some other explorations. You are quite amazed to meet it here, as it's probably just out of rumors or out of secret kept company secrets. But I'm going to say that everyone, as you're hearing this, you can give me a power roll. And as you're giving me the power roll, and I'm just going to wait for the results.
No,
No.
I missed it by about 20 points.
Success.
Well, the security guard's fine.
Well, we'll see.
It's also in possession of the weapons. Right. Those who failed the power roll, you, for a very brief moment, you blink and you see yourselves on these green pastures that are surrounding you in a completely different environment. However, what is peculiar is that you also see the mountains from afar, the conjoined twins. Blink again, and you're right back. For who succeeded the power roll, Davidson, you see them pretty much have a glazed look on their faces, and then they just come back to themselves like nothing happened, but all of them did this simultaneously.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like focused forward as we're walking along, and he's gonna do like a double take, and with all these people stumbling around behind him, he's gonna stop. He's gonna, whoa, are you all right?
We're still at the computer. We haven't walked in.
There's something very strange going on here. I'll ask the GM.
Yeah.
I have an idea. Can I do an occult roll?
By all means, yeah. Sure.
Okay. So, okay, I passed that. Um, Ancient Sumerian. I'm starting to think Anunnaki, the supposed alien race that came to Earth to force us to mine gold, I think it was. It just, that's always been a legend, but holy crap, this language is really close to Sumerian. What are the chances,
Yeah.
And so
Professor Zanning, could you turn around so I could check your oxygen flow rate?
Yeah, sure. I'm breathing the atmosphere, so.
Okay. All right. I'm going to check each one of you guys.
Jan is going to flick the
There's
down
goes to English, there.
to English and click English and continue on with anything else he needs to do with Adam here.
Yeah, okay. You succeed, and you are greeted by this fellow. It presents itself and says, "Hi, greetings. This is Adam, your advanced digital assistant manager. You are currently on station Alpha 01. Checking by your nameplates, and you hear this whirring sound as cameras all around this room are focusing on you, and you start to see red blips near them. I am happy to meet an Artex exploration team that has come to Alpha 01. Currently, my databanks appear to have been severely damaged. I am going to start the recovery process. However, I will be of assistance to you should you wish to query me on anything regarding Alpha 01.
Adam, do you have any idea where the 102 people that were on the station have gone? Do you have any memory records?
It has a small twitch of the eye, and it says, I think I know, but I'm not positive on that.
Adam, could you play Hendrik Preliminary Surveillance AVI, AV1, whatever that, AVL?
Yep. You definitely can use the interface, all of you simultaneously, doesn't matter. Yeah. Adam is going to play this recording, and you are going to hear Dr. Hendricks, which is part confirmed by Adam of this exploration. It details, I'm going to make a very, very brief in order to not read the pre-prepared handout. It makes very quick notes of the exploration of the foundation of the station. Is one of the oldest on the station. It was here since 10, 11 years ago, since the station was created. Is a very well-known archaeologist and geologist, and it pretty much details how the station is built inside of what they believe to be at first a natural occurrence in nature, although the space, as they dug down in the mountain, proved to be of artificial design. They as well claim, Hendricks, that something like a mortuary room or something like a place of burial might have been found. Yeah, something like a necropolis. And they uncovered big skeletal bodies, skeletal remains that approximately 4 meters tall, double the height of a human.
Wow, that's scary.
It's your Anunnaki, Professor Zanning.
Immediately as they were uncovered, the bodies proceeded to go through the natural process of being consumed by bacteria. And this reaction perplexed the scientists as they were very, very well kept in the contained oxygen-less atmosphere. That's where the log ends.
Okay.
And
Maybe
when
that-
were these
Definitely
bodies found?
something.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
They were found beneath
In the
our
chasm.
station.
Yeah. Beneath the station.
Maybe
And
the-
when was
the-
this?
This is 3 years after the station has been founded.
Okay. So they've had the bodies and they had this decay experience, and this was a while ago and not
Yeah,
immediately
yeah.
prior to. Okay.
Still, maybe the cave survival theory isn't so far-fetched after all.
Mhm.
I would assume.
Can we access?
Okay.
I mean, the
ahead, yeah.
scientific wing. I bet that's where the tunnel is going down.
What's an RCV file?
Adam responds, I'm still recovering that particular document.
Recovering. Oh, yeah.
And
Oh, I bet it's the observatory. I bet the observatory is the hole in the ground.
it looks like there's a couple files here that are locked.
Well, yeah,
I think
you
Yep.
should be.
Yves might be able to open those. Yes?
We also have the key from the crew quarters.
Yep. You have
It appears that there was an artifact of some kind that was retrieved, and it may be set up so that certain functions can be performed on it. Probably more
Adam
information in
interjects
the science
when,
labs.
when it hears Dr. Quinn and says, affirmative. Artifact X, nicknamed Cronenberg lens, after Dr. Cronenberg of Alpha 01, the discoverer and indexer of said artifact, is currently held in storage in laboratory on Alpha 01.
He's in
Adam,
cryo.
can you show us an image of Artifact X?
It will draw you something akin to concentrical circles around a black disk.
A lens, okay.
I'm is the sixth log down? Is that garbled information, or is it a replacement for an expletive? Because you've got whispers, then emergency, and then holy shit, fuck, you know. Or just a garbled.
It's just garbled, but I love the implication.
Okay. We should try to get that emergency open from Turner. It looks like.
Yeah. Maybe we can recover it
Yeah.
somehow.
Find out what the emergency is.
Yeah. I can do that. Let's see here. And Yanovich will go in and start trying to get that to open up.
Okay. As you're trying to open that up, Adam will inform you that in the upper wing of the observatory, the local telescope mounted has detected motion.
Another group coming this direction.
Rivals, maybe?
I'm insanely curious to see this artifact.
Does the telescope have video that transmits?
Yes, Adam says, affirmative, I can patch that in. And it patches
Please.
the image of the beautiful Arctic landscape. But it has this small dot, which is very, very far. And it tries to zoom in on it, and it gets quite close after zooming for 1,000 times. But it starts zooming back because the image starts to jitter and glitch. What you can discern, although you will have quite a hard time focusing on this, not because of the glitches. Looking at this dot, you start to discern a genderless figure that is in tattered clothes. It's very tall. It has multiple limbs, and it seems to be wearing, the tattered clothes seems to be of Arctic's origin, like a spacesuit, which is torn in different parts. Its face is a constant void that never renders and constantly distorts the image. And it's moving as like a parody of the gravity on this planet. It's moving like it's spacewalking. It lifts its left leg up and it lowers it down. It lifts its right leg up and is lowering it down. It's coming towards the station, but in a very, very almost comically slow fashion.
Autumn, how long before this entity reaches us?
Entity. You see this thinking on Adam's avatar, and it's like, oh, unconclusive. The entity, I seem to be forgetting something. I may be in need to check my data banks. If the spot you are indicating as an entity moves with the same speed, it would actually take it 2 weeks to reach you in that fashion if it doesn't change anything in its behavior.
What is that? Does anybody recognize that?
This is a potentially amazing discovery. This could be contact with a sentient alien life form. Given the approximate height, this may be one of the same type that the skeletons that were discovered in the chasm were. We've got to hack into those logs and get the scientific information.
I'm working on it.
Okay.
While the others are busying themselves about that, I'm slipping out the door and heading to the observatory.
Right. So focusing a little bit on Professor Zanning, you read the journal and you are fascinated to find out that it's written by a member of the personnel that has actually been stationed at the observatory. The text is pretty mundane. It explains how boring everything is. They have to monitor another possible site, and it pretty much discloses the fact that the other mountain of the conjointed peaks is another possible burial ground of the Neda civilization. But as you are sifting through it faster, you will not be able to read it completely, but you start to observe the fact that the text turns very, very hastily. It's not, at first it writes quite good, quite beautiful, but then it starts to write uglier and uglier, almost like the mental state starts to deteriorate. And the book at its end has quite a nice rendition in crayon of the opposite twin conjointed peak as you are reaching the observatory. And it has what is like a stickman or something, very amateurish drawn, walking towards the peak of the mountain.
Okay.
What are the rest of you doing?
So we're interacting with the computer terminal still in the security office, and Professor Zanning has stepped out and moved towards the observatory.
Yeah.
I'll retreat out of the security office into the atrium and try to keep an eye both on Zanning as he's heading towards the observatory and on the rest of the folks who are in the security lounge.
Yeah.
And whisper soothing things to myself about the importance of this discovery for the company and the importance of ensuring that all profits go to the company, and that I'm really excited about the future of my investments here.
And I
Well,
will
then,
follow. I'll follow Eve out,
mhm.
and you know what this could mean. Uh, let's check out the science lab. That's got to be where the logs are. That's got to be where the data is. And I start to kind of pull Eve in that direction.
I think that's an excellent idea, Doctor. I like the way you think. I should hate to be separated from the rest of the group, but you seem to know what you're doing. And
It could
Yeah,
be
the potential for
it could
profit
be
is
some
enormous.
time. It could be some time before they get the computers up. This can't wait.
True, it's true. Leave them to their tinkering. We should go find the things of real value here.
Does your vest leave the decryption key thing?
Mhm.
I've left the key with you, but the access chip
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
the only one who can make use
As
of.
long as
Okay.
as long as I have the decryption key, so I can help the AI push this further along.
Yeah.
Totally.
I'm going to split the narrative like this. As Yoon is inserting the decryption, you definitely start to see a file rapidly decrypting, and it's decrypting a file written by a Dr. Paltrow named Artificial Construct. As it's decrypting that fastly, we see Dr. Fiona Quinn and Eve Marceau enter the laboratory. Here, it's quite a vast room, bigger than all the rooms you have seen before. It has a lot of tables, machinery, and laboratory paraphernalia. You have everything from an atomic microscope to dating techniques to everything that may be aiding the Alpha 01 station to analyze the famous artifact X. Which I'm going to say you find in the middle of this room. There are two important things to note. One is obviously the artifact, which I'm going to go into detail very soon. The others are some vats that have this murky liquid inside, and they have almost inside what seems to be the profile of deceased dolphins. The artifact sitting in the middle is a giant disk that has a central small disk, darker, onyx-like. It doesn't reflect light in any way. And it has multiple frames concentric to this disk around it. I will take either meta knowledge or spot hidden or anything that you want to query this artifact pretty much.
What? I guess this is above the table, but just tell me if you don't answer this question. What is your meta knowledge, Dr. Quinn? I don't know if that's like just as a style question of is that worth asking to say, okay, I'll do it meta, I'll do it slight spot hidden, or should we just each make our decision not knowing?
I'm just spotting. I'm just going to use spot hidden myself.
Okay. I'll try to get some meta lore then.
What is
Curious to
this,
see what I can
RPG?
Jesus Christ, it's a fumble. Okay. 99.
This is the
That's
most
exciting.
alien thing you have seen in your entire life.
Oh boy. I love it. I love it.
Any success?
Yes. Very
Okay.
good.
So, a regular. Would you be willing to spend luck to make it a hard, or an extreme would be too much? A hard, I imagine.
You know what I'll do even better is as I think I'm beginning to see what this is, I'm going to approach it closer and put my hands on it and get kind of a better look and push the roll.
Perfect.
And it's a fail.
Oh no.
As you are coming close to this artifact, you are touching it. A couple of discoveries will come out of this failure. The discs slide very easily, almost like they have no friction, something which would indicate such a precision and quality craftsmanship that it probably doesn't have any kind of microscopic structures on it. It's probably the ideal polishing you have ever seen. But you move this configuration and it starts to move, and it also starts moving the other circles. And it reconfigures itself in a way. The middle dark disk suddenly clears up, and it's starting to pull at you very, very rapidly. If you see Dr. Fiona Quinn as they are struggling to not be pulled inside this thing, what are you doing?
I'm
And of
stepping
course,
back.
everybody can hear on the comms like, this is going on.
Well, Dr. Quinn, you've turned the thing on. I have no hope of setting it back to the state that it was in before your service to the company. Am I feeling any pull on this? Like, how localized is this experience? I imagine I'm at least a few meters back.
You can definitely feel a pull, but it's much lighter on the farther away you are from it.
Ooh.
I'm like I'm reaching out.
Oh, I know
Help
what a
me.
good person would do. I am going to. I feel like what Eve would do in this context is make the calculation in their head of what is my own value to the company, what is Fiona's value to the company, what is the potential risk of the death, and go through that. And I really want to make a roll on like appraise
Wow.
to see how highly I value Dr. Quinn's life, to see if I'm willing to risk my own.
Oh.
And yeah, for a 39, I think Dr. Quinn has some specialist expertise that I'm going to, I hope to God there's something sturdy I can grab onto. And then I'm going to curse in the most, by my mother's
French.
beard, and reach out and grab it. Putain, merde, qu'est-ce qu'on fait ici? J'arrive.
Perfect.
I'll reach out and I'll try and grab Dr. Quinn.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Give me a strength, but this doesn't need to be too good of a success. A regular would go from
39 under 50, thank God.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. You managed to drag them back, and a lot of the things from the lab start to close in, and they are being absorbed into this thing. Once it makes contact with this black disk that is still pretty much completely opaque, you definitely see how it decomposes things, like it's turning everything into yellow as it touches this middle thing, and it's absorbing it with such a speed, it's almost like a miniature black hole. As this is going on, everybody else hears your struggle, and Adam says, there has been a change occurring. The subject that you have put me to observe through the observatory has increased their movement speed. It's going to arrive at the station in approximately 2 hours and 30 minutes. And looking on this telescope, you can see this thing starting to not make the parody anymore and pretty much charge straight down the mountain from the other side. Nothing can stop it. Ripping trees, killing some close resemblance to penguins on the way, not out of maliciousness, just out of the speed. It's starting to come very, very fast towards you. What are the rest of you trying to do?
Adam, what's going on in the science room? Where's Yob and Fiona?
I
So
believe Dr. Quinn and Monsieur Marceau are in the laboratory.
yeah, so Lieutenant Davidson was so focused in on the monitor, watching the thing bouncing out in the glacial environment, that he totally missed when everybody left the room. So he's gonna like try to hightail it out of there and catch up.
Thank
Yep.
God. It's just me and the computer now.
Yeah, it's just you.
And I'm at the observatory. What do I see there?
You can definitely see how this thing has heavily accelerated, but I'm going to give you something else. You stay there and watch through, horrified through this scope, while you feel a slight tap on your shoulder.
Oh.
And looking back at your side, you see this human figure with pale skin. Its eyes are missing, and it points towards you and says, "What we have found, oh God, what we have found, you need to leave as soon as possible." And you blink, and there's no one there.
Ghost. Was I correct? Is there a tunnel here going underground, or is that not here? That's probably in the.
It's in the laboratory to confirm
It must
it.
be in the laboratory. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm rattled. I'll roll sanity. I passed.
Okay. Yeah, just one.
So I'm startled. But that thing is coming. As it's moving faster and coming closer, do I see any more details, or does it remain just a void?
You can give me a power roll, because your very fiber of your being doesn't want your eyes to land on this thing.
I see.
To give you a perspective, it's almost like awakening the primal fear of danger, the animalistic side of the human brain.
Right. Flight or fight. I got a 95. So
You cannot
I
focus
think
on this thing.
since I've only got a 30 in POW, that's probably a critical fail. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that's correct.
And I believe in occult stuff, so I'm gripping my magic coin as tightly as I can.
Love it. Right. The rest of you, what are you doing?
As Dr. Zanning is having his moment in the observatory, I am running back into the atrium, grabbing Dr. Quinn, whom I have not let go of since I have dragged her out of the thing, screaming, "Turn it off! Turn it off! Oh my God! Turn it off! Turn it off!"
And I'm like, oh, did you see this? What are we looking at? And
One foot
I'll
in front of
pick
the
up.
other, Dr. Quinn.
I'll
if
try
I
to
can-
kind of resist being drug and like grab an object off a table or something and toss it toward the artifact just to see what it does.
It's absorbing it and completely disintegrating it.
Wow. And then
If-
does it leave any like remains of it, or it just disappears?
It doesn't leave any remains.
If I can hear them yelling in the next room, I'll probably follow that other direction to the lab, the
Okay.
other corridor.
Yeah, I imagine there's probably a commotion coming from that direction, right?
Adam says, I can be of assistance. I need permissions in order to interact with Artifact X, if that is okay, with the human persona.
Do I have those permissions? I don't know if I have those permissions. Adam, you Evalis, give Adam permissions to interact with the object.
Sure, sure. I'll leave Dr. Quinn to her own experimental devices that she's clearly content with and return to the security terminal. Plug the little.
As Professor Zanning is approaching into the lab and it sees this weird glorified vacuum cleaner, intergalactic cleaner, pretty much kind of absorbing. It has made quite short work of what is in the laboratory. A lot of stuff has been absorbed. There are some mechanical arms coming from the ceiling from behind it. And you see with these small suckers, it starts to interact with the circles. And it rotates them in such a way that completely stops this thing from functioning.
Did you see that, Professor?
Default configuration, touch it.
I saw it.
It's like an artificial black hole.
Like some sort of portal, or I mean, I'm still holding on to something, and I'm like, are the circles some sort of control mechanism? Like,
yeah, if you just touch it here.
I'm not going anywhere near it.
Just press.
But some sort of transportation to another place? That shouldn't be possible.
Start frantically looking around the lab of the stuff that didn't get sucked through, looking for any information about what this thing, what the scientists here discovered about it.
Yeah, I'm going to give this piece of information to you because you are much more focused out of the terror and dread. You're going to find a decryption device, another one, and it's going to decrypt the log entry lens/whispers, and it details the security officer lens of the Alpha 01's experiences with what they call a paranormal phenomena. Even since they have recovered this artifact from the catacombs, they say that all the personnel, Lens says that all the personnel has started to act weird, has started to act irrational. They accuse that they hear people very close to them being at this station, even though they are only 102. And it's a very, very quick degeneration because as this log is being read to you, he starts saying things like he can't remember the last time when the personnel was 102 or was 199. It starts having memory problems pretty much. And the very moment when it realizes that something is wrong with themselves, they decide to self-medicate very heavily off the record without any, it's completely out of the company policies, but he says that he can't take it anymore. He is hearing his deceased parents talk to him. He's seeing glimpses of his child that he could never ever meet because of a divorce. All of this completely render a shamble of a remaining husk of a human being that by the end says that he's going to help the personnel achieve what they call a ritual that he claims that will solve all of this. Everything will be completely solved. And it abruptly ends.
I want to see if there's anything like language written on any of the artifact.
Perfect. It's filled to the brim with it. Each disc is covered with this weird rectangular, very finely detailed symbols. Yes.
but not like cuneiform, but something.
Something that resembles it, but you can definitely tell it's a very more refined cuneiform. It's almost like the ancient Sumerians had to write on tablets. This is pretty much on a metal that I'm going to tell you, or Adam is going to tell you, is of unknown origins. The alloy doesn't correspond to any well-known Xterra alloy.
Does it have any resemblance to the symbols and stuff on my little gold coin that I've carried around my whole life that I've never been able to identify where it came from?
I would say yes, they do.
Jesus Christ. Y'all remember him from
I remember stories of
ancient mythology? Do we have any kind of video recording devices, or did
Yeah,
the
that's reasonable.
Butlerian Jihad get rid of all of our phones and all of our technology?
Yeah,
I want to
you record.
I want to record and take photographs of everything that's got language on it.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. You make sure to not touch the artifact.
I don't want to touch the artifact. And if anybody moves towards that artifact, I'm running away.
So as Jon is decoding here at the computer with Adam, he's also wants to back everything up onto his data pad. He's just saving all the files. Everything that comes across, minus Adam stuff. Like, he doesn't care about Adam, but like the information Adam has.
Yeah, Adam is very, very it's not meant to be easily attachable to, meaning that, in fact, a lot of people have complained that it creeps them out, frankly. It has a complete lack of emotion, and it tries to emulate emotion as it's speaking to you through the avatar. But a lot of people completely hate the AI assistant. They cannot stand it. So it will not take it personally. As you're looking through this, I'm looking for any kind of skill that aids you sift through the information. And I am looking for a hard or an extreme.
Would computer maintenance?
Computer maintenance or sysops, whatever is higher would be good. Yeah.
I don't see sysops, but I do have computer maintenance.
Okay, computer maintenance is fine. It makes sense with the logs and all.
That's really low. That is just an extreme.
Just an extreme, it's perfect. Otherwise, it would have been a crit.
Yeah, it's one number under. 13 under 70.
Yeah, you find some weirdly garbled logs that you can definitely rebuild by passing them through some algorithm. And you recover logs that say that Adam, at the very, very last point in time, when everything went dark, Adam has activated a code that you're familiar with, which is quite high security. You know of it by hacking before you were employed by Artix into Artix databases. This code is reserved for the worst of emergencies, and it has some dark implications. You see that Adam has activated and even used the local security turret network in the station minutes before all the logs got corrupted. It also has a lot of target names for an extreme success. The targets are a lot of names that are the personnel of this station.
So yeah, he's backing that up, backing that information up. It's all going onto the data pad, and he's like, ah, Eve, and Lieutenant Trevor, I'm gonna need you here in the security room. You're gonna want to see this.
Uh, yeah, I'll come in.
Yeah.
What have you recovered, Jan? Tell
On
us,
my
tell us
way.
all about
I here, and he pulls it up on the data pad instead of the computer.
it.
And he's made sure that like at this point the connection between the computer and the data pad are separate from Adam so that it doesn't.
Mhm.
And he's just like he it's the worst.
What do you
It's
mean?
the worst. It's the worst. High security?
This information is company property. You'll need to return that data pad at the
Yes,
end of the
yes,
mission.
absolutely. Well, I was going to keep it.
Wait, is this the computer targeting the personnel?
That's what it looks like. That's what it
Of
looks
course,
like.
Adam's avatar looks at all of you and is like, is something wrong?
Nothing, Adam. Let's continue what we're doing. Seeing things. Nothing. Do not be concerned.
Can we get access
No,
to the station remotely?
Can we? Yes. Now that the powder's back on, yes.
All right, I think we should get ourselves out of here.
I think everything is fine and that we should return to our home base with a reasoned and peaceful exit. And I will calmly remove my security chip from the thing and stick it back in my pocket and begin to proceed. Well, then, I suppose we've seen everything there is to see here. Let us return to the shuttle bay and be going. Isn't that right, everybody? And I'll begin
Absolutely.
slowly to head that way.
Adam, continue maintenance protocol Z1862. I think you should be rebuilt in the hour and can continue maintenance. There's nothing left here for us to do. We'll report back to corporate and have new bodies for you within a month.
Thank you for your
Adam
assistance.
responds, that sounds wonderful, Mr. Nostro. But I'm afraid I cannot let you leave.
Oh, I don't see why not. You're in perfect condition right now, and I assume the entity will leave now that my colleagues are not touching equipment.
The entity. I have been recovering the databases. The Wanderer, as it has been known for trillions of years, has been walking these planes of life in search of civilizations, people. It met a civilization before, and it infiltrated it. It was never accepted into it. It's walking step by step, closer and closer, as you're just meant to gaze on its glory. And it continues to recite this weird poetry. However, the Wanderer is not meant for this world. I require you, before you leave, to try and perhaps save humanity in itself. The Wanderer wants the artifact to be destroyed. It will not stop until it reaches it. You have been warned. As it says this, all power goes out from the station again. Adam, of course, cannot talk. Everything is dark. You turn on your flashlights from your suits. And it's this quietness that is suddenly broken with a bang from the front entrance, from the front door. Bang. Bank.
Come
Who wants
in.
in? No. Just don't let it in.
What? I just want the device, yeah? We'll just
I
leave it here and we go and it takes the device and does what it wants. We have pictures, we have video, we have all the information that says everyone went nuts and the AI killed them. Yeah, this is what happened, and we leave.
Yeah, that's fine, but we have to leave through the front door.
It says it's not going to let us leave.
Yeah, I'm gonna run out into the atrium and take up position looking down that corridor.
Do you have explosives to blow this up?
This is Dr. Quinn on the short comms. I've been monitoring the communication. If we're trapped in here, there's a device in the lab that might destroy this thing.
You mean the device itself?
The Artifact X.
Okay.
It seems to liquefy anything that touches its surface once it's powered on.
I don't think it's liquefying it. I think it's falling through a hole, going somewhere else.
I go over to the vat of the sludge, and I want to take a closer look at that.
It's you'll have to do this quickly because, of course, the banging suddenly grows to a crescendo, and the very massive door that usually separates a docking bay with the station flies into the atrium like it's nothing. Essentially, 12-ton door just flows and even heavily damages a wall and all the computers on it. It completely destroys them. Looking very fast in these vats, you see a creature that is very similar to an Exteran dolphin. You can't really tell much other than, of course, not unless you will look a little bit closer, but time is of the essence. In fact, if you give me a natural word or something and you have an extreme or a crit, you can definitely have a lot of conclusions very fast.
No, not fast enough.
Yeah, not fast enough. Okay. Pound. The sound rippled through the silence. Yes.
The banging is coming from the door leading back to our shuttle.
To your space shuttle, yes.
Yeah, so we can't.
We hide. We can hide. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yankovic, are you still able to access the menu that Adam showed us on the computer terminal?
The power is off.
The power's off. It's I don't even know how it's on to begin with. If everything is fried and is this all a hallucination? But it's all here on my datapad. I don't know what's going on. I just want to get off the station.
Victor,
we hide.
Can you tell me, there's a connection that goes from the observatory into the laboratory, right?
Yes, that is the lift that was meant to align the artifact with the telescope in case they ever wanted to run further experimentations with it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So I think what I'm thinking is, like, if the thing comes through the door, I could retreat into the lab and then actually make a circle around through the observatory and then back into the atrium, right?
Yeah, I say that's fair. It's going to take a lot of self-control and a lot of constitution, but yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, we'll see if we make it, we make it. If we don't, we don't. But I'll say Professor Zanning, Mr. Marceau, Dr. Quinn, And Mr. Nastrov, if you could stand against that wall, and I'll point to the wall between 2 and 7. When that thing comes through, I want you to go out and head for the shuttle as fast as you can. Don't try to stay and fight. I'll be behind you in about 30 seconds.
Not
Nice.
clearly listening to Lieutenant Davidson, I am going to go towards the banging, and in a loud voice, I'm going to yell out in Sumerian, what do you want?
Perfect. This starts the famous Dex order. And I am also going to say that, Dr. Zanning, you can give me a sanity check.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm Dr.
Yes, sir.
Zanning. I failed
Going
that
a bit
miserably.
mad.
Okay.
I'm
For
crazed.
a failure, that is 1d20.
1d20. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
okay. My odds are against me, but that's only a 6, but it's still a 6. We do
Yeah.
intelligence.
Yeah, definitely intelligence.
That's high. Let's see if I pass.
Oh,
I
no.
got a 004. Yeah, sure, I passed. I know exactly what the fuck's going on.
This thing is definitely alien in nature. It replies to you, and it says basically that it transfers its intent mostly, because this language doesn't say words per se. So it basically responds to your inquiry of what do you want, and it says one mirror, more mirrors, the key to all of universe and of existence. Together we will be able to attain this. And it rapidly rushes towards you. What have you got on your bout of madness?
Okay, what I got was hallucination. So I think it seems natural that I fall to my knees before what I think is the Sumerian gods, the Anunnaki.
It's a golden god.
Ask me what you want of me, And I've got really a low willpower, so I've only got a 30 in willpower.
So I think it's reasonable to say that you won't fight back or anything.
No, I will worship it as it.
Oh gosh.
Whatever it does to
I'll
me.
probably be shouting, Dr. Zanning, get out of the way.
Oh yeah, the rest of you sorry, go ahead.
I'll be reciting prayers in Sumerian.
All of you, does someone go on the corridor hearing Dr. Zanning talking with this thing?
I mean, I was sort of positioned in a way that I was aiming down the corridor, so I probably saw the whole thing.
Okay, definitely roll me a sanity as well.
Oh. That's a fail.
1d20.
Oof.
It's tough. To be fair to this horrible
14.
Intelligence roll.
Intelligence.
This thing expect in order to help the theater of the mind. You imagine
failure.
It looks something similar to this. It has this weird, almost branch-like structures coming out of its body. It has this tattered suit, and it has this weird void that you can see, and it has a mouth with hundreds of teeth all around it, and it licks this weird black tar-like goo as it constantly speaks in a low growl. a long series of this weird language that is very similar to what Adam has said when you put it on the Ergolang-Faust dialect. It doesn't expect you to understand, and it has this weird animalistic but intelligent intent behind its covered eyes. And what is worse is that it wakes up alarms that are in the human evolution. It's almost like you would be meeting with the devil itself if you would believe in such tales. It's almost the worst thing you can see and feel. It distorts, and you see faces of people that you love or cared about, or even memories of yourself into its face, distorted into these parodies. And it's going to go towards Dr. Zenning and will take you. It makes a weird sign, almost in a religious fashion, and it puts its multiple fingered hand on your head, and with a very swift fist up, it cracks it. It takes the body of Professor Zenning, the remains, and it eats them, its jaw growing larger and larger, and it starts to grow another limb after it done so. It's going to advance towards the rest of you. Davidson, what have you got on the any intelligence check pass? Unfortunately,
no, he failed the intelligence check,
perfect,
but he still lost 14 sanity. So I rolled on the Bout of Madness table, and I got significant people, which means Lieutenant Davidson has a brother named Liam. Mm-hmm. And so when the thing comes through the door, he sees like this giant weird version of his brother, who then proceeds to crack Professor Zanning's skull and eat it. And so he doesn't know what to do, and he's sitting there with a rifle, and he doesn't know whether he should shoot or not. It's a very confusing situation. He's like, Liam, what are you doing, Liam? Is that you?
It may even turn around and project into your head the face of your brother, and says, yes, I can definitely help you reach your brother earlier. They suffered an accident while you were in cryostasis.
Yeah, I think he'll just stand up, and, like, lower the gun, and just start walking in that direction. Like, really?
It caresses you, and painlessly it absorbs you into its branch-like structures. The rest of the people, what are you doing as all of this madness? You hear on the comms, no screaming, no pain, but you hear this weird whispering coming from the creature, and once the comms are also absorbed, nothing more.
Well, hearing all this commotion out in the atrium, I'm in the science lab. I'm going to attempt to tie myself to a structure near the artifact X, and wait there with the intention of, if this thing comes in the same room as me, I'm going to repeat the motions that I did before and try to trigger it.
Okay, that's fair. I'm going to call for a luck roll for that. What are the rest of you doing, Nostrov and Eve?
I'm on my data pad. I'm trying to send all of this information that's on my datapad to the ship.
Okay.
Push forward. I'm trying to make it go quick. And then I'm getting like the ship to boot up the launch process so that when we get on, this is hot and we can just go.
More than fair. Yeah, it's completely possible. Any success on that? Oh, sorry. Okay, Eve.
Oh, I'm not doing anything useful. I'm hidden against the inside wall of the security, wishing I had gone to work on my grandfather's vineyard rather than joining the company these many years ago.
Now.
Now I'm
willingly
beginning to have some reflection.
Yeah, probably something what Picard also wished a long time ago.
Exactly.
I
They're coming for me.
on the vineyard this entire time.
Very well. You, Dr. Quinn, you managed to make the configuration. The thing starts absorbing all of the room. And as this thing enters it, is there anybody else in this room, or the rest are trying to go to the ship?
I'm going to the ship. I'm
Okay.
beatnecking it out of here.
Okay. Whoever enters the ship, I'm going to call for a power roll, please.
Oh no. Okay. There we go.
Oof, 54 over 40. Fail.
60 over 45. Not today.
Yeah, you were quite far away, so you are going to meet inside the spaceship with Dr. Professor Zanning and Lieutenant Davidson, who are completely fine, and they look at you like, what did it took so long for you to reach this point?
And are their eyes cloudy?
No, they're not.
I'm gonna take a sanity save.
I'm not,
73 over 36. Does that mean I'm making a deal?
failure. It's a 1.
We are okay.
computer
Oh god.
launch
Yeah,
ship.
As all of this is going on, Dr. Quinn gives me what would be appropriate in this. So we are trying to not get absorbed by this. It would be either a strength or a dex.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And is it contested? I believe it is.
Okay, well, I got a hard success against this
Awesome.
artifact's sucking power.
Yeah. And I'm going to roll this, and does this syntax ever work? Does this thing has something like, it doesn't. Okay, so imagine that it has 70. But, how do I roll? Just a moment. Okay, yeah, it completely failed. It's an 86. So you managed to stay tightly gripped to this. As this thing is indeed starting to get absorbed into the artifact, it starts to, one of its hands makes this cracking noise as it's being practically ripped from its body. Then another one. Then its entire physique is starting to slip on the floor and is being absorbed into this disc. You are going for a hard, you are not going to hurt yourself in any way. This thing, however, you don't have a way to stop it literally. Adam is offline. How do you plan to get out of this situation. The Wanderer is no more. It has been completely absorbed into the artifact. Right now, the artifact acts like a miniature black hole that you cannot get too close enough to it to close it, essentially.
Well, I'll appeal to my NADA knowledge and attempt to sort of figure out what I need to do to the artifact to shut it down.
Okay.
I rolled a 30 and I have a 10 in NADA knowledge, but I'll spend 30
Roll
points
the
to
luck.
make it a critical.
You spend all that luck and you come up with a solution. I'm going to ask you to give me a final dexterity roll in order to see if you can get close to this thing. And
Yeah, I
not
imagine that this is quite difficult to do the
Yeah,
motions
yeah,
that I need to do while the thing is
yeah.
attempting. I rolled an 11, so that's a
Oh,
extreme success on Dex.
you spin these rings around and the artifact shuts down. As all of this took place, you hear the rest how they are trying to, how they gone on the space shuttle. What do you want to do? Do you try to take the artifact with you, or you are just bolting to the space shuttle?
Oh, how large is the artifact?
The artifact is quite large.
Okay.
I'm going to tell Adam has a procedure to load this onto a ship, but it's relying on them being online, essentially.
Yeah, I will after all of that, I'll run as fast as I can to the shuttle.
Okay. And as you enter, give me a power roll as well, and it's going
Yep.
to be the last one.
And that is a fail.
Okay. You see Professor Peter Zenning and Lieutenant Trevor Davidson completely alive, all well, although their faces present some distortion occasionally. It's
Well, I've
almost
been
like
through a lot.
you are putting a dirty finger on a photograph, almost like that.
Gosh, I thought you guys were dead. Thank goodness. Let's get the hell out of here.
And roll the credits. This is where Through the Lens of Evil ends.
Oh,
Wow.
now,
Very good.
Beautifully
can you
done.
give
Thank
us
you,
any
Arthur.
idea what was going on, or do you want to keep that a secret?
Sure.
Yeah, was there actually a cave?
Yeah, there was a cave, but for the one-shot purposes, I would have streamlined it, but no one ever got close to actually accessing it. So if you would have gone in the cave, you would have had a chance to uncover another decrypting device for another log, which was lost by another member of the expedition. Where are all the people in this? Those that were either murdered by Adam were pretty much dispatched by the Wanderer themselves, which seeked to recomplete itself over time. Others, should have you explored a little bit more the outside of the station, like just walk through some balconies and so on, you would have discovered with a very tough spot hidden or track that they had completely lost their minds and pretty much killed themselves by going outside and freezing to death in the wild coldness of Megacorpus. So what was happening exactly? As spoiler-free as I can, because this is an ongoing series, which I truly hope that you enjoyed. Artex found remnants of the Neda civilization. Their language, until this point, which is the first installment, is pretty much considered the cognitive hazard for all intents and purposes. Each time a human mind comes in contact with it, it starts to distort the reality perspective and can even actually time transport to, similarly to Call of Cthulhu, mind transport through time, your consciousness in completely different places. The Wanderer itself is an intrusion. Neda, if you would have had to find the last log that wasn't corrupted, it's an hypothesis posed by one of the scientists that the Wanderer might not be Neda themselves. They might have met an alien civilization might have met something alien to themselves that pretty much infiltrated and infected their civilization, and poses as a theory that it's the reason why the Neda civilization fallen, at least on Neda Corpus. Thom, you're muted.
I was saying, yeah, it seems like they opened a gateway to something on the other side and it came through. And that's never good. So, clarification, am I alive or am I a hallucination?
For this part, you are pretty much a cognitive parasite inside the heads of everyone that failed their power checks. So you are pretty much, very much alive as long as they are alive. And
Nice.
Live in my head.
Yeah, and you may actually have any desires you wish, but you have this inclination to try to convince them more and more to aid the overall mysterious mission of this parasite from the Neda civilization.
Excellent.
So my working theory was that the alien civilization had left behind an AI, and that the AI and the AI was trying to somehow complete some process. And I didn't know what that was exactly, but it had something to do with this portal.
Well, it would be interesting to know once you've run through the other scenarios what your inspiration was, because I can see a lot of things in this, like Solaris and
Solaris, as somebody pointed out in the other channel, Event Horizon is a very big inspiration.
Horizon,
sorry, Horizon. My pronunciation, I apologize.
No, it's okay. Your pronunciation's fine.
Dead Space is something very close to my heart, and pretty much the ending is very Dead Space 1-ish in the sense that you are pretty much have these imprints of instructions and things that your mind has been altered. Those who got out alive never truly got away from it.
The fourth kind. Close Encounters of the Fourth Kind. Yeah. That was
Event, and it reminded me of Event Horizon a little bit too.
Yeah.
I initially thought with the power coming on randomly and then going back off, energy people was like my first thought. I was like, oh, energy people are manipulating the power source here. And
the power surges were real, no hallucinations. The artifact, should have you investigated a little bit more into it more earlier, it has electromagnetic properties. So it has a cycle. Each time it lands on that cycle, it either powers down or powers up the station. It can cause damages because it's not intentional. It's not harnessed for that purpose.
I thought we were going to get a link to Morgan's games of Mothership with Adam. His two main computers are Adam and Eve. But I like the fact that you made it the what was it? Artificial
is the Advanced Digital Assistant Manager.
Yeah, that's great. I've had something like that in another game, which was the General Operations was it the general operations director, God, runs
Nice.
everything.
Like paranoia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's finish up. We can talk after that. Our players. Whoops, where'd my thing go? Our players included Preston Firestone, Grant Dowell, Reason Nelson, Stefan Amshi, and myself with Victor Graur as the keeper of arcane lore. We have a Discord server where you can chat with other members, you can set up private games, and you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Spotify, Podbean, or iTunes. Support for the show is provided by our patrons who are listed in the closing credits. If you would like to show us your appreciation, please visit our Patreon page listed in the description, or you can use the thanks button just below the screen. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answer any questions you might have. This is Thom Raley, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.